Hello, everybody. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it easy and fast for you to create your own professional website. Squarespace has a beautiful drag and drop interface and allows you to make excellent websites very quickly and easily. You can easily create your own online store. Squarespace has a logo creator, where you can create a clean, simple logo design for yourself in minutes. Squarespace automatically includes a unique mobile experience that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device every time. It works on Mac, it works on Windows, it looks great on everything. If you're one of those weirdos that uses Unix or Linux, it'll work on that as well. And for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and enter the code word Joe. Squarespace, a better web starts with your website. And now, our friends at Squarespace have a special contest for JRE, that's Joe Rogan Experience, listeners. It's a website design contest. And here's what you need to do. Go to squarespace.com, sign up using the code word Joe, and get 10% off your first purchase. Then build a website. Quick and easy to do. Drag and drop interface. If you can put pictures in an email, figure out how to do that, you can figure out how to make a website. That sounds ridiculous, but it is actually true. After you've built your site, tweet your new website to hashtag, that's # JRE Squarespace. One word. That's hashtag JRE Squarespace. I will personally pick one winner each month through the end of the year, and winners will receive a free year of Squarespace Business Level Plan. Visit squarespace.com right now. Use the code word Joe to build your website and tweet your new site to hashtag JRE Squarespace. We are also brought to you by Onnit.com. That is ONNIT. Why did I use that deep voice? So disappointed with myself. Onnit, ONNIT. Onnit is a human optimization website. And what that means, I don't think I've ever heard of a human optimization website before. I think I said humid. That was just a slip. I was eating some granola. I was eating some of this Nature Box, which is not a sponsor today, but they are yummy. And Onnit, a human optimization website is a name that we coined because it really didn't exist before. And the idea is that we sell pretty much everything that we can find that benefits performance, whether it's benefiting mental performance with things like Alpha Brain or Shroom Tech Sport or Shroom Tech Immune or New Mood, which is a 5-HTP and L-tryptophan supplement that actually enhances your brain's ability to produce serotonin, whether it's those things or whether it's strength and conditioning equipment. We have some new stuff at Onnit. We've always had clubs, these steel clubs, but now we actually have wooden ones in as well, which are the traditional Indian-style clubs that they have used for strength and conditioning for a long time. We sell them as light as 2 pounds, which seems ridiculous until you try to use them. It's very, very difficult to use. It's very awkward. It requires some weird wrist strength and forearm strength. And they go up to 45 pounds, which is insanely difficult to use. Very, very hard to manage and manipulate and do things called shield casts. There's a bunch of different exercises. We also have Onnit Academy. If you're interested in learning some of these exercises, we have a bunch of videos online that can show you all sorts of exercises that you could use the Onnit conditioning equipment for, whether it is battle ropes, whether it is using kettlebells, which is my personal favorite, or just bodyweight conditioning exercises for MMA fighters that MMA fighters should include in their kettlebell workouts. Kettlebells are some of the best, in my opinion, strength and conditioning pieces of equipment because they force your body to work as a whole unit. It forces your body to use all the muscle groups, use everything together. If you do things like Turkish get-ups, which is not a glamorous exercise, but a very difficult one. You lie on your back, you essentially bench press up a kettlebell, and then slowly but surely stand until that kettlebell is in an overhead press position, and then slowly lower yourself down. Lots of videos on Onnit.com and lots of other videos online that you can find on YouTube, So you don't need to necessarily buy a video, but if you want a video that you can work out to and move along to, I've said it a million times, and I'm going to say it again. Keith Weber's videos are the best, and Keith is actually going to be on the podcast this week. He'll be on Friday, but his extreme kettlebell cardio workout video, Extreme 2 is the new one. Fantastic workout, very difficult to do, and just gets you in incredible shape. With a 35-pound kettlebell, it will kick your fucking ass. If you're a real savage, you go up to a 45 or a 50. If you're a fucking animal, you go to a 70. And I don't even want to be around you if you could do that exercise with a 70, because you're too powerful. You're too much for me. The supplements, all of them, come with research. If you're interested or curious and you say, what is this bullshit? Is this snake oil? Nay, sir, it is not. Things like Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a nootropic. And what a nootropic is essentially, there are nutrients that are designed to enhance your brain's ability to produce neurotransmitters. They essentially allow you to form sentences better. It allows your memory to come quicker. And it sounds like bullshit, but there's actually research behind it. Not just research on the individual ingredients, but we have done now 2 double-blind, placebo-controlled tests on Alpha Brain. The first one was what's called a pilot study, which means it's a small group of people. It was 17 people, and now those 17 people, I keep forgetting it's 3 or 4 dropped out. So it was a total of 16, but we got excellent results. So we bumped it up to 60 people, much larger study, and even better results. And the results that we got come from taking 2 pills, which I guess is the recommended dose. I take 4, and I find I get incredible results with it. What I find is it allows me to form sentences better. It allows me to recall things better. It's just, what it does is it gives your brain the tools. It gives you the nutrients, the building blocks that you need to keep your mind sharp, son. And all these things, like whether it's Shroom Tech or New Mood, Shroom Tech being an endurance supplement that's based on the cordyceps mushroom. All these things, if you go to the website and click on the individual links, there's research to back up all the claims, and we also offer a 100% money-back guarantee on all these supplements. If you buy them, you do not even have to return the bottle. You have 90 days to return or to say that these 30 pills that you bought are not good, and you will get your money back. We're trying to sell you the best shit we can. We want to develop a relationship with you where you can count on it to only provide you with the best possible foods, the best possible supplements, snacks, fitness equipment. If we can find the best shit, we will sell the best shit. If you go to ONNIT and use the code word Rogan, you will save 10% off any and all supplements. This podcast is it's sort of like part 2. Part 1, Bryan Callen and I, we sort of just had a podcast. We didn't really talk too much about our trip, but we went hunting in Alaska on Prince of Wales Island for the TV show Meat Eater with Steve Rinella. And this is the podcast after we got back. It was a crazy, wild, fucked up experience. And we're back in civilization, and we're here to talk about it. My brother from another mother, Mr. Bryan Callen.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Appearing at the Atlanta Improv, October 16th, 17th, and 8th. That's how my daughter does punchlines. My 4-year-old daughter. She goes, "What kind of tree grows in your hand?" "A palm tree." And then she'll hit the same punchline over and over again.
Over and over?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Do it with formality, and I want enthusiasm.
Appearing at the Atlanta Improv. It's the one and only Bryan motherfucking Callen. October 16th, 17th, and 18th. God damn it, I have to sneeze.
No way, the kid. What, dude, in the middle of my... damn it. In the middle, Bryan Callen, Bryan the Kid, I'll be the crowd. Bryan the Kid, no way, in person? I hear he's way better looking and super athletic.
He's beautiful.
I hear the way he moves.
He's beautiful on the inside, too.
There it is.
I don't mean his butt. I mean his soul.
Oh,
Jesus.
Adorable.
October 16th, 17th, and 18th, the Atlanta Improv. If it's like any of the other improvs, it's awesome. The Improv is the premier comedy club chain in the country. And If you're nowhere near Atlanta, if you happen to be in Philadelphia or Washington, D.C., I'm at the Tower Theater on Friday, October 7th in Philadelphia, and then at the Warner Theater on Saturday, October 18th. Both of those gigs, the October 18th one in Washington, D.C., the Warner Theater in Washington, D.C. Both those gigs are with Ian Edwards. So the 17th
Very
in
funny
Philadelphia.
guy.
Oh, he's awesome.
I love
he's
Ian.
fucking legit,
Ian is awesome.
high-level headliner.
Yep.
So Philadelphia, October 17th, and then Washington, D.C., October 18th. That's for me. And Bryan Callen is October 16th, 17th, and 18th. And Bryan Callen is back in motherfucking civilization.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 5 days in the rain, sleeping on a slant, pooing outside.
I'm not sick, but I do have something going on with my nose. Which
Well,
is why I just
it's
sneezed.
L.A. air after all that pristine.
Yeah.
We got dropped off 1,300 feet above sea level in a seaplane. It took 3 planes. In a seaplane, get dropped off on a lake, a mountain lake that you could drink out of, which we did drink
We
out
drank out of the lake.
of. That's how clean it is.
Yeah, it's rainwater.
Yeah, it's made of rain.
There's not even any fish in that lake,
Yeah.
which is really crazy.
It's weird, right?
It's a huge lake, and there's no rivers that go into it. And there's also several lakes on Prince of Wales Island. I mean, maybe there's a couple of fish in there I don't know about, but we didn't see any.
No.
It's clear, crystal clear water. And there's several layers. Like some of them are up high, and other ones are like, a few hundred feet below it. There's another lake. It's really weird.
Also, when you're hiking through that terrain, you'll cut through the woods and like just cut into this rainforest, and then you just come across this clearing with another little pond or lake. It's like Shangri-La, man.
Everywhere there's lakes. It
Yeah.
gets more more rainfall than any other place in America. It's 160 inches of rainfall. Apparently, Ranella said it's one of the biggest islands in America next to the Hawaiian Islands.
Bigger. It's bigger than the big Hawaii island. Prince of Wales Islands, I believe, is
But
actually
that's
bigger.
what our friend Matt said.
Crazy.
That's what Matt said, but I believe Ranella said it was half the size of the Hawaiian
Oh, okay.
Islands.
I don't know.
Okay, let's find out. Let's find out how big it is. Prince of Wales
We
Island.
spent our entire time in basically wet, even though you're wearing rain gear, and nothing dries out. Nothing. First day my shirt got wet, it never dried out.
Yeah. It's the 4th largest island after Hawaii, Kodiak, and it's 1/10 the size of Ireland.
Whoa.
Slightly larger than the state of Delaware.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
and very important, didn't see any. Basically,
Deer.
you'd be. I mean, it's a huge island, man. 3 planes to get there. I'm looking through my binoculars. How many deer? I saw 1.
Yeah, there
Well, I
wasn't a
saw
lot
2.
of deer.
2 does, which I couldn't shoot.
It was
Not one
We
buck.
came, according to Ranella, we went there at a bad time, which is fucking weird since he was the guy hosting the goddamn show.
Yeah,
and
that means the
scheduling it.
deer. Right. That means the deer. Even the deer were like, "This sucks. Let's go to lower land." The deer were like, "It's too rainy and windy here. Let's move down." Even the
Yeah.
deer were like, "See ya."
Yeah, the deer went towards the ocean.
Look at the
apparently.
humans with their fire sticks.
We saw very few animals, but it was still unbelievably beautiful, and it was so clean. That's the weirdest thing about the air there. Was so clean that when we got to L.A., we both were like, "Ew." We smelled the air.
I almost
like,
panicked. My nose closed up immediately. For
Yeah.
real. Remember? We were at the airport. I mean, granted, we were in traffic, but I was shocked. My system went, what? Started closing down.
Well, we were breathing in this moist, clear air,
Yeah.
drinking clean water. Look, I'll take this over that every fucking day of the week. First of all, I just want to get that out of the way. Like, especially because we didn't have a house. We were camping. And if you've ever camped in the rain, you might be able to pull it off for a day.
Yeah.
You might be able to pull it off for 2 days. But once you start getting to that 5th day, oh, God, does it suck a fat one.
You know what was happening to me? I was becoming like a fetishistic, whatever the word is, about my gear, like how to keep everything dry. And I was even like making my sandwiches secretly in the tent. I would steal away. Remember when you said you were like, were you making sandwiches? I was like, huh? Huh?
Yeah, you took mayonnaise and bread and meat and went into your tent.
And I hid, and I was like, fuck those guys. I'm eating a sandwich. I'm eating a dry sandwich, those assholes. I was turning on the whole camp.
Well, I got a little bit better at figuring out how to deal with the rain, but at one point, we wore these headlamps, so they're like a mining hat sort of thing on the top of your forehead. You have this light, and it's attached to a strap. And I turned it on. I turned my strap on inside the tent, and It was like a sea of dew. Like the inside of the tent, like everywhere you look, it was like it was raining these microscopic drops of water. It was like looking out into a downpour, a microscopic drop downpour. So there's these tiny little drips everywhere, but the inside of the tent was filled with moisture.
Yeah.
Everything.
Your sleeping bag was wet.
My sleeping bag had a sheen.
Yeah. 51 degrees. It's really fun to sleep in that.
Oh, it's a good time. You could take your hand and you rub it over the top of my sleeping bag, and your hand would be wet.
Right.
And the inside was wet. Like my hands got wet. Wool is fucking amazing.
Yep.
Okay? If you're wearing cotton out there in this kind of weather, you're really fucked. But wool is an incredible material. When you're wearing wool somehow or another, even if the clothes are wet, you retain heat.
Yeah.
It's really incredible.
It's the oils in the wool, I guess, and also wool wicks away moisture from the body for whatever reason.
But does it? Because it must.
I don't know.
It must wick away, but not
It
totally.
dries quickly. You ever notice that? Like, apparently it dries quickly, but they say cotton kills. If you're in wet, cold environments and you're hiking or whatever, and you wear cotton, that's how people die.
Yeah, because you sweat,
Yeah.
and then you get wet, and then you get freezing cold.
Yeah.
Like we were in a constant state of when you're hiking. First of all, we're following. You weren't, but I was following Steve the Billy Goat Ranella. Okay, this fucker does this shit 365 days a year. I'm lucky that I'm in good shape, and lucky also that I work my legs out like crazy.
Yeah.
Those poor guys, like, oh, I guess you skipped leg day. You ever see those guys?
Yes.
They look like a meatball with two
dead.
sticks. They'd be
dead.
fucked.
Terrible hunting bodies.
Yeah, I work my legs out more than any other part of my body because of kickboxing, and I'm always doing squats, and so my legs really didn't get tired, even though it was 5 days of pretty intense hiking. But my cardio got tested seriously, and I was sweating like a fucking pig. So you'd get to the top of this. First of all, I didn't layer it right. Like when we talked to Ma Ting, one of our friends that we met down there. Shout out to Ma.